Hear them.
Medium right. 200, care, crest.
He's laughing at you, Jeff.
Well, he hasn't seen the video yet, so he should contain his laughter until
He's like, I don't know. I mean, it is unclear, like, which direction they want you to use. Because, like, when I played it, I was, like, moving to, like, what I thought they wanted me to go to the left. But then it was like, oh, you got punched in the face, idiot. And I'm like, oh, fuck you, David Cage.
I think this is a personal affront. I don't know, like, it still baffles me that the person who created Heavy Rain also created Indigo Prophecy and Beyond.
That doesn't baffle me at all.
It doesn't baffle me. How? But Heavy Rain was such a good game. It's nothing like a predecessor or the following.
It's still stupid.
No, it was a good detective novel. It had a little bit of the David Cage weirdness with the whole RE interactive system, but it was a really good game.
There are too many things that were left unexplained.
Like what?
What was the dad's blackouts? What caused those? And
oh, they already introduced that. Stress. Guilt. Anxiety.
And also, like, when he blacked out that one time at the playground, and it was just him, how come nobody did anything? Like, it weirds me out that nobody was there but him.
You do realize that when you black out, you don't just fall down? When you have a blackout, you're like on autopilot.
No, I know, but just like, I don't know, it seemed weird to me. And also, like, Shelby having, what do you call it, asthma, and then that final scene with him and, Dawn and Jaden. He didn't seem to be having any issues fighting on top of a giant crane, getting real physical, and not needing his inhaler once, but when he walks up the stairs to go break up, beat him up prostitute dude, he's like, oh, stood up a step, inhaler. And did you know that initially, when David Cage, like the first one that he wanted it to be was that Norman, or
Ethan
blacked out because he had a connection with detective or Jaden or some I don't know.
So he wasn't in David Cage yet.
Yeah. So initially it was going to be David Cage, but then they should have taken other parts out of it. Well, the game is very interesting. I had a few problems with it. The biggest one being the whole blacking out and appearing in the middle of the street thing in the beginning of the game with Ethan. I guess this is more of a problem with the developers of the game rather than the game itself, but it was such a big plot point that was never concluded. After investigating what it was about, it's because the developers were really lazy. Originally, the game was going to be a lot more supernatural. Every time Ethan blacked out was because the origami killer was about to strike, because they had some kind of supernatural connection that was going to be tied in at the end of the game. But they decided to take that part out. Why they didn't take out the blacking out scenes, I'll never know. Guess they just had to have Sean disappear somehow, but couldn't think of another way besides Ethan doing this.
Okay, we're not gonna nitpick Heavy Rain because David Cage has something to be proud of, alright?
I think it did a lot of great things. I think it did a lot of really cool things. I think Heavy Rain, or Beyond Two Souls does a lot of cool things. I just think David Cage is a weirdo. Like,
well, we're not disputing David Cage's weirdness. We're disputing whether or not he created a game that was, you know.
And Megan's only Morgan, whatever the girl's only purpose was to be a sexual item, or a sexual
item of a sexual assault, yeah. And then Love interest.
Like, she barely, if at all, helped Ethan. At all. Oh, she played sexy nurse. Man, I bet Ellen Page really regrets not being in The Last of Us.
Why was she supposed to?
I think. But she's such an indie fuck. She was like,
shut up.